Okay, 8th grade, we're in good shape here. We're ready to wrap up this geometry spreadsheet. It's easy for you to say, and that's a big deal because we've been working on this for a while, and this is a big undertaking. Today, we're going to look at we've got 2 more functions to write and 2 more formulas to write. We get those 2 formulas and those 2 functions in, and we should be able to use this spreadsheet to calculate a lot of divergent, different kinds of geometry problems that we might run into in our lives or in the world. Now, we're going to start with those 2 formulas we got to write, and then we'll bring in 2 more functions, and then we should be ready to go. Got some good news. Some of this is going to be pretty easy because of stuff we've already written, but let's go ahead and get started. In our formulas tab, oh, look at that. We should have everything but these 2 formulas written. So this formula for the area of the regular hexagon and this formula for the area of the regular octagon are the 2 remaining formulas we have to write. And the formula is right there, so it's not too bad. All we should have to do is write that formula. If you remember from the last few times we've done this, you start every formula in a spreadsheet with an equal sign. So we're going to do that equal sign. And then we're looking at an open parenthesis, which is shift 9. And then we've got 3 times, so that's 3, and then shift 8 gives us our multiplication symbol. And then we're going side times side. So I'm going to go to the calculate tab, and side is cell G2. So here's the G column, and here's the 2 row. So there's cell G2. And side times side is the same as side raised to the 2nd power. So instead of doing a multiplication symbol and clicking on that cell again, I'm just going to raise this to the 2nd power. So I do that with a shift 6. That's the caret button. And then I'm going to put a 2 after that. So that's raised to the 2nd power. Caret makes sense in the raised to the kind of context. So again, we've got 3 times calculate G2 raised to the 2nd power. I'm going to go back here, and you see that automatically put in an end parenthesis, which is not what I want. So I'm clicking back into my formula tab. I'm going to backspace that out. So I've got 3 times side times the square root of 3. So I'm going to add another shift 8. That's another multiplication symbol. And now I'm typing square root, SQRT, and then open parenthesis, that's shift 9. I'm going to put the number 3 in there. We're looking for the square root of 3. And then I'm going to close parenthesis, that's shift 0. And if you look at the formula, I'm going to close parenthesis a 2nd time, shift 0 again. Now I've got the division symbol. You see we're dividing that whole big fun by 2. So I'm going to use the division symbol, which is right under that question mark, it's just a slash, and then the number 2 to wrap up my function. So again, my formula is 3 times calculate G2 raised to the 2nd power times the square root of 3, all of that divided by 2. There's my function, my formula. I'm going to hit enter, and that formula is there, which leaves me with 1 formula left to write, and this one's not too bad at all. The formula for the area of a regular octagon. Again, every formula in a spreadsheet starts with an equal sign. We put equals, and then we're looking for an open parenthesis, that's shift 9. We're going to do 2 plus 2. And you're like, 2 plus 2, isn't that just 4? Yes, but it's 2 plus 2 times, which means shift 8. And because it's 2 plus 2 times, order of operations means we won't add the 2 until we've actually done the multiplication first. Again, 2 plus 2 times the square root, SQRT, of 2, square root of 2, and then we're going to do another close parenthesis, that's shift 0. So again, we've got 2 plus 2 times the square root of 2, all of that in parentheses, and all of that multiplied by side times side. So we're going to do another shift 8 for our multiplication symbol. And then we're going to get side times side, or side raised to the 2nd power. I'm clicking on my calculate tab. I'm going to click on that side cell, which is cell G2. And then I'm going to do a shift 6, raise that, and then a 2 to make that the 2nd power. Again, I could do a shift 8 and then calculate and then click on that cell G2 once again. That would do the same thing as raising it to the 2nd power. Either way works. I'm going to hit enter, and that will put my function in place. You can see it looks right there exactly as it should according to the formula that I've got on this spreadsheet. So right now, I've got my table complete. I've got all my shapes, all my perimeter calculations, all my area calculations, and all of the names of the shapes here. So this table is completed. What I want you to think about now is what we did before. So I'm going to go back to my calculate tab. I'm going to click on this big cell here where we made it so that the shape would automatically come into our spreadsheet when we selected one of these shapes. So I'm going to click here, and this formula right here is exactly what we want in our perimeter space and our area space with some minor changes. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to highlight this fun formula, and I'm going to copy it. So I can right click and copy. I can also do Control C to copy. Either of those will copy. Once I've copied it, I can go ahead and hit enter because I'm good there. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to paste that same formula here in the perimeter cell. You may have a formula here already that's not quite right. I have the right formula, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to hit Control V to paste that formula in as it was. Maybe. Control V. No, I must have messed that up somehow. Control C. Control V. All right. And now I have to change some little characteristics. And I want to show you what we need to change. So here we were looking for the shape, the actual picture. We go to our formulas tab. We notice that the shape is the F column, right? So A is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6. So the 6th column over is where we found our shapes. The 5th column over then is where we find our perimeter values. And the 3rd column over is where we find our area values. But we're looking at perimeter right now. So if I go back to calculate and I'm looking for perimeter, all of this stays the same. If error, still the same. VLOOKUP, still the same. A2 is this cell. That's what we want to look to. Still the same. Formula is A2 to F9. That's still the table that we want to look in. But the thing that changes is this right here, the number 6. We want to change from 6 to the column where we'll find perimeter, which is the 5th column. So we're going to type a 5, and then we're going to hit enter. So now we've got our perimeter calculated in there. Backspace here. Now we click on area, and we'll Control V to paste that same function again, that if error and VLOOKUP function together. And again, we're still looking at A2, still looking in that same column, excuse me, in that same table, but the column number is not 6 anymore. And we set our area functions, excuse me, our area formulas were in column 3. So we're going to change that 6 to 3. Now, everything else stays the same, and we hit enter on this function, and our spreadsheet should be, at this point, fully operational and wonderful. Now, here's what we're going to do, or here's what I want to show you that your spreadsheet can do. We've got right here the world's toughest math test, or maybe it's not. But here's what I want to show you. Here I have a problem, right? I've got a shape. We can identify this shape. We can talk about the values that we'd put in here. And that's basically what this spreadsheet is all about, is being able to take a shape, right? So let's identify this figure, and it is a trapezoid. And automatically we see which values we need. We need base 1. Oh, I can't even see it. Old man eyes here. Let's see. So the base 1 is, I'm going to say 10.4, right? So I'll go to my spreadsheet. Oh, this is fun now. And I'm going to put in base 1 is 10.4. And then base 2, that's 7.5. 7.5. And then my height there is 14.5, 14.5. And then I've got a couple more values here. The side value is 15.5. And the side 2 value is also 15.5. So I've got all of those values now entered in. I hit enter, and if I maximize this, I should be able to see that automatically I've got my perimeter and area values calculated for that specific trapezoid. So again, I identify the shape and then enter the dimensions that the shape gives me. And once I've done those things, bam, area and perimeter both pop into my spreadsheet and make it so that I have everything that I need to answer any question about that geometric figure. So again, the point of this spreadsheet was being able to do exactly that, being able to come up with just by using an image and the dimensions in that image, being able to, bam, put together what is our area and perimeter using this magnificent tool that you built by yourself. So we'll talk more about what's next after this, but again, screenshot exit ticket. I would tell you to give me the calculations from any of those excuse me, any of those figures in the world's toughest math test as your screenshot exit ticket for this week's joy. That's it. Can't wait to see what you did.